Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we'd like to have this NEST2018 New Economy Summit, and thank you and welcome to this summit one more time this year. Well, I am Representative Director at Japan Association of New Economy. My name is Mikitani. First of all, I'd like to, before covering today's agenda, I'd like to introduce what we are doing at Japan Association of New Economy, JANE. Well, JANE, Japan Association of New Economy, is celebrating the 6th year in this year. We started as an infant, but for the last 6 years, now we have over 500 memberships and trying to bring different policy proposals and enlightenment or education activities. JANE is hosting this conference, New Economy Summit, NEST. In this year as well, we have invited well-known energetic speakers to be on stage from the U.S., the large ride-share services founder of Lyft, John Zimmer, and also a member of House of Representatives, Mr. Shinjiro Koizumi, and also the former professional football player as well as the national football player, Mr. Hidetoshi Nakata, to be on stage. We also have AI and cryptocurrency as the major themes in the sub-sessions. And also we will have Mark Benioff, CEO of Salesforce.com, and also the director of Center for IPS Cell Research and Application, Professor Yamanaka, and also different speakers will join the exciting sessions. So over 6 years, JANE is bringing different policy proposals. Last year, for 1 year, we have made 42 specific concrete policy proposals, and also we have attended at the government conferences quite a lot. Well, the conventional, traditional Japanese corporations may not be able to address the new challenges. So I think us as a new association or new bodies will be involved to bring new proposals to the government. For 2017, in 2017, 2 major pillars are shown on this slide. Number 1 is digital first. Well, in Japan, people tend to have face-to-face conversations where people tend to think about everything has to be on paper, but we now have the Basic Act on the advancement of public and private sector data together with the government. So as long as we have no special reasons, as long as we do not have a need to have the face-to-face discussions, we will be able to accommodate those data. And also the philosophy, Mark Benioff is going to be talking about his activities. So entrepreneur, once he or she becomes successful, how entrepreneurs can return those back to the society. So currently, we are also bringing a proposal to review the public interest corporation system. So we have made these concrete policy proposals, and the foundational philosophy is Japan Ahead. And in this year, we have made the upgrade to Japan Ahead 2. So this is our philosophy, and this is our future vision of Japan. Currently, there are different innovations or technology innovations as well as transformation. For instance, shopping is now becoming on the internet, or maybe the trading is now being made on the internet. So it is not just gradual transformation, but I think the social structure is fundamentally changing. The way how people are, the way how the government is, the way how the education systems are, or maybe the way how families are. So throughout all those aspects, we really see a lot of a transformation in every aspect of our society. For instance, recently, the AI, artificial intelligence, is one big area. So far, people are only being able to do certain things, but now I think we are just around the corner to see computers. It's going to do the same things. For instance, the autonomous driving and also the different kinds of translation or image recognition. And it's not just limited to those areas. Maybe the medical judgment or legal decisions can be also made with the help by the computers, and we are just about to see the glimpse of that era. It's not just AI, but many devices are going to be connected. All the devices will be connected to the internet to bring the connected world, and we are again just about to see it. Under the circumstance, the conventional definitions are also going to change.
So since the beginning of the human history, the human society was based upon the fact that we own assets or we own things. Owned economy is the conventional world, and we are starting to see the shift to the sharing economy. That is, not to own assets or things, but to share assets and things, for example, cars or houses, share the houses. So we are starting to see such shift, and with that, we believe that the efficiency of the assets in the society is going to significantly improve. After my opening speech from LIFT, Mr. John Zimmer, the chairman, will be talking about this. So I'm looking forward to that. Since last year, one of the hot topics is the blockchain or ICO or Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So we are basically or fundamentally changing our way of thinking concerning the currency in the society. And about the blockchain, this is not only for the cryptocurrency, but this can be utilized for the registration, auditing, or utility trading. Can be utilized for many areas, and this would lead to the significant improvement of the convenience. Now, according to those changes, the work style is also changing. The government is working on the reform of the work style, and we often hear about that these days. But as a Jane, the way of working of the human being is going to fundamentally change. That is our belief. So in Japan, based on that assumption, we need to create a new framework. As I mentioned earlier at Jane, we have a slogan, Japan Ahead. and we have revised it. And starting with this year, we have a vision of Japan ahead too. Japanese economy, when we make those changes, we will realize the further development. One of the things that we are trying to do is to make Tokyo as a Silicon Valley of Asia. When you look at Asia as a whole, China, in the area of the internet, probably is maybe leading the Silicon Valley. And IT technology, in terms of the application of it, they're very much ahead. And also AI and other core technologies, I think that China is leading Japan, I must say. But having said that, when you look at the world, the very talented people can be attracted to Tokyo. I think that Tokyo is the only place in Asia which can do it. So that in order to realize that, the corporate tax rate was reduced to 21% in the United States. As for China, they have a less than 10% corporate tax for the leading technology companies, and also for the individuals, the tax rate is quite low. So we have to also take measures or initiatives so that we can support those innovative companies. So the lower corporate tax would be very important to do so. The second area is the smart nation or smart cities. We would like to promote building smart cities. Until last year, this was the promotion of the tourism-related industry and country, which is going well. So from this year, we are taking another step ahead. So deal with the population decline challenge, and especially we would like to tackle the labor shortage. Other economic associations have difficulty dealing with this. So as Jane, we would like to start to consider immigration in a positive way. So let me talk about the positive, the specific topics. Now, let me elaborate on the plan to make Tokyo Silicon Valley of the world. As I mentioned, the corporate tax is one of the factors. We would like to bring people, wisdom, and money to Japan. And in order to do that, we need a certain framework. And if we have such framework, I think that Tokyo can become the Silicon Valley of Asia. And the training and fostering of the human resources, for example, promotion of the programming education and the English education, important. And as I said, philanthropy, return the results of the business to the society is another important aspect. In the United States, the philanthropy money is used for the basic research, and that is more than $30 trillion or so. But now in Japan, it's only 700 billion yen. So that's the difference of the 30 trillion yen difference. So this is not the minor system, but we have to really take advantage of the resources of the philanthropy. It's not just the government or bureaucracy trying to use the resources for the R&D, but the entrepreneurs or people in the business sector need to invest more for those areas. And I think we can take advantage of the insights of the entrepreneurs for that purpose. And as I said, the work style innovation is being much discussed about. And frankly speaking, the government or parliament are discussing how to lower the long working hours, and to use the uniform regulation for that is kind of obsolete way of thinking, especially those people who are engaged in the innovative work or venture capital companies or venture companies or startups. The definition of the labor probably has already become obsolete. So we have to really focus upon the new scheme that would enable performance-based way of working. And unless we can establish that, we will face difficulties in our future. Looking back at myself, when I established Rakuten, I went to the public bath and I spent night in my office to start a business. That is the source of energy. So under the new law, we will be probably arrested for doing such a thing, violating the law. So that would inhibit the development of the startups and new corporations. Now, the second is smart nation, building the smart nation. So, for example, payment, the digital payment will lead to the improvement of the peripheral technologies, and various demonstrations can be promoted so that we'll have our Olympic Games in Tokyo, and Tokyo can be the most advanced smart city, and Japan can become the smart nation. Unfortunately, right now, we are likely to have a Galapagos type technologies, and we try to promote them. But in our case, we need a global standard, open technologies. For example, about the cashless society, within 3 years, we need to realize 90% achievement of the cashless society. That type of a bold measure would be necessary. And we have to deal with the population decline and solve the challenge of the labor shortage. Chain is a collection of the new companies. There are some not so young companies as well, but there are a lot of innovative, growing companies who are playing important roles in chain. So in that sense, in 3 years, 5 years, or in 10 years and 20 years, we have to think about what we can do to prepare ourselves for the future. So population decline. In our steering committee, we are really focusing on this challenge. Using the sharing economy, how to utilize the labor more effectively is going to be very important. And that would not be, we will not be able to solve all the issues with that. So we have to really consider the immigration. So, for example, we need to establish the basic law about immigration and set the specific targets. Or those people who are working at the plants or construction sites, we need to consider the highly skilled people, and we need specific measures to attract more labor with high skills. So in addition to those industrial measures, we also need to consider how to accept the immigrants from the world. As a member of the world society, we need to consider that. And the most important thing is that Japan, with several Asian countries and US and Europe, I think that there is a major difference. That is to say, in Japan, when you are born in Japan, whether you are considered to be Japanese national or not. In the United States, 7% of the Americans are non-American, and 7.7% in UK and 9.3% in Germany. In Switzerland, that's 23%, and in Japan, it's only 1.9% non-Japanese working in Japan. I think that the strength of Japan is that even after we accept the immigrants, or by inviting the non-Japanese workers, I think that the concept of the hospitality or as omotenashi in Japanese will not be lost. So with more diversity centering around the Japanese culture, we'll be able to create the new culture and economy in Japan. So in that sense, maybe some of the things that I said were sensational, but at the JAME, we are starting to consider the topic of the immigration in a very positive way. So at the very end, my speech. Now we will be discussing the future among the members of the JAME, and we would like to see around the corner, and we would like to think about the future after that turning point, because the future could be quite different from what we expect. So those members of the JAME, together with them, we would like to continue to evolve ourselves and challenge the future. So in that spirit, we have organized this program for today's conference, and we have a series of exciting sessions. And I myself, I'm very much looking forward to today's program, and I hope you will enjoy until the end of today. And thank you very much for your attention.